So first things first, we have the reserve residences name. I won't go too much into this, but just to help you understand, the reserve residences came from the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve inspiration, all right? And what's more important about the reserve residences is that we have 4 types of units in this development, or rather what we call 4 different series of units, okay? So the first series that we have would be the standard reserve residences. It's called reserve residences, where we have the 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and also the 3-bedroom unit. All right, this is what we call the mid-tier units. And then we also have the quick site unit. All right, these quick site units are easily identifiable because they are the only low-rise building, all right, that consists of the 3 and 4 bedders. All right, it's only about level 6 to level 11. Okay, and then we also have the horizon units, which are the 3 and 4 bedders that looks like knuckles, which I'll share more later on. And as the name says, it provides a good view of the surrounding. Okay, and lastly, we have our premium unit types, which is called the treetops. That has your duplex, sky terraces, penthouse, basically the premium collection. Okay, so for Quickside, Quickside is basically inspired by the tranquil water bodies in the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. And these low-rise residences in the reserve is also situated right beside the pool, so to make it like, quick site. Okay, so you'll better understand once you have looked at the development. Next, we have the Horizon series. Okay, so the Horizon collection is inspired by the breathtaking vista of Bukit Timah Hill, which is Singapore's highest peak. And the name suggests the panoramic views offered by the knuckle units. All right, so don't get too confused by these knuckle units. I'll share a bit more later on. And lastly, we have our treetop collection, and this takes inspiration from the uppermost reach of a tree by invoking the sense of being on top. Treetop embodies the qualities of excellence and distinction. All right, so this again, remember, treetop is our premium unit. All right. So going to the development itself, what you can see on screen now would be the view from the junction of Jalan Jurong Kechil and Upper Bukit Timah Road. All right, so the reserve residences actually features a dynamic blend of 732 units from 1-bedroom to 5-bedroom penthouses, and it houses within an integrated development with service apartments, malls, and direct access to the upcoming bus interchange within the development itself, and also the Beauty World MRT. All right, so if you look at the image, right, on the right, the building on the right that looks like a cliff, that is actually the service apartment. All right. So to help you understand a little bit more about the reserve residences, this was actually a dual envelope tender, which was subsequently won by Far East. All right. But what is a dual envelope tender? So basically, there were 5 bids that were received on the dual envelope tender. And what this means is that they will first review the proposed concept on the development before they proceed with the bidded price. All right, so that means to say, 有钱都可能买不到. Right, this is a development where government wants to see your proposed concept of the development before they go into the next phase of looking at the price that you bidded for the land. Right, because by now, most of you should know that the government is looking to rejuvenate the entire Beauty World area, which is why they are very particular about the upcoming proposed concept of this site, because this is in the heart of the Beauty World itself. All right, so Far East actually won the first concept and subsequently also went through the second round of winning the top bidded price. All right, so you can share with your buyers that the reserve residences is basically they are buying into a winning concept. Okay, so eventually they have successfully bid for this land at 1.03 billion. And some of you may have seen in the articles that the land bidded price was around 900 plus per square foot per plot ratio. So I just want to clear the air on this because a lot of you have been asking what is the estimated price, right? So we do not have any indicative from the developers as of now. But if you look at the upcoming GLS, we have a Bukit Timah Link site that was already bidded for 1,300 plus PSF PPR. So that will work out to be a sales price of about 2,003. And the reserve residences being an integrated should definitely be higher than a 2003 counterpart beside us. So we are expecting about 2005 to 2007 or even 2008 thereabouts. Okay, then some of you may be wondering, oh, but they bought the land at 900 plus per square foot. You know, based on the recent market, you add on 1,000 PSF, they should be selling at about 1,009, you know, to 2,000. How come they are selling at 2,005, 2,007? Are they making a huge profits from us? Well, the answer is no. All right, so I want to clear the air on this, because yes, although they bidded the land at 900 plus per square foot per plot ratio, you have to understand that this concept has to be approved by the government, all right? Which means to say they have a lot of land that they have to build for the government. Things like the bus interchange, the linkway to the MRT, and so on and so forth. These are lands that cannot be sold, all right? So at the end of the day, if you base on the sellable land, the per square foot per plot ratio price is definitely higher than 900 plus per square foot, all right? So this is something that I just want to make clear to help you all clear the misunderstanding that, you know, why are they selling so expensive? But to be fair, if you look at the surrounding transactions now, we are actually selling at a very, very reasonable price, considering that it's going to be at the heart of Beauty World. Okay. So some basic facts about this development. The developers is a joint venture between Sino Group and Far East Organization. All right. This is an integrated development with Transport Hub, and I'll share with you a bit more about that later on. But this falls nicely within the District 21 region. And the address is Block 9 to Block 23, Jalan Anak Bukit, which houses 732 residential units, followed by 160 service apartments, which you can see on the right just now, which looks like the block that looks like a cliff. That's where all the service apartments are housed. Okay, basically it comprises of 8 towers, 4 low-rise towers, 6 to 11. That will be our quick start unit, which I'll share more later on, followed by 2 mid-rise towers and 2 high-rise towers. All right, we also have car park facilities on level 1 for the mall and service residences, followed by car park on level 3, 4, and 5 for the residential lots. All right, so total we have about 586 lots, which works out to be 80% car park lots. Okay, and the tenure of this development is a 99 years with effect from 29th of November 2021. So since this land was successfully bidded in November 2021, many of your buyers would have already expressed interest. And after a long 1.5 years of wait, you know, this project is finally launching soon. All right. So the estimated TOP date is Q1 in 2028. And the architect for this development is, you know, a well-known architect called 𝗚𝗏, followed by the landscape architect from ICN Design International. Okay, so I just want to touch a bit on this integrated development with Transport Hub because it's very rare in Singapore. So based on URA guidelines, right, integrated transport hubs are fully air-conditioned bus interchange that are seamlessly linked to MRT stations and adjoining commercial developments, right? This is from LTA, right? So there's not many developments that are integrated yet comes with a transport hub. And let me show you what I mean. So if you look at the dots in blue, these are the current existing integrated development with Transport Hub. Right in the west, we have the Centuries at Boon Lay, we have Hillian Residences at Bukit Panjang, North Park Residences in Yishun, Campus Heights in Sengkang, and Batok Residences at Batok, right? And if you look at all the existing integrated developments with integrated transport hubs, they are all in the outskirts of Singapore. Right, so Beauty World Integrated Transport Hub will be the first right in the center of the Bukit Timah region. Right, so this is a project that many people are actually eyeing for because it's really, really a rare development. Okay, so what's exciting next is that we have a very interesting unit mix from 1 bedroom all the way to 5 bedroom penthouses. Right, so what's interesting here is that for the 1 and 2 bedroom, you have layouts that come without a balcony. Right, so in this market now, you have buyers who have budget constraints. You have buyers who do not like balconies because they feel it's a waste of space. All right, but at the same time, you also have buyers who like balconies, right, for lifestyle living and whatnot. So in this development, we have about half of the developments being 1 and 2 bedders, which provides you the with and without balcony layout. Right, so for our 1 bedder, we have about 56 units of 1 bedroom without balconies, which will work out to be about 440 square feet, right? So this could give young buyers or potential investors that chance to enter at a lower quantum because of a smaller square feet, but yet a very, very livable sized unit, right? So in general, we have about 100 one-bedroom units, and we have bulk of the units being a two-bedroom. We have 2-bed, 1-bath with and without balcony. We have 2-bed, 2-bath, 2-bed with study. All in all, we have about 300 over units on that. Okay, so mainly about 55 to 60% of the development are smaller units from 1 to 2 bedders. And then of course, we have about 200 units of 3 bedrooms with study, with 2-bath, 3-bedroom premium with 3-bath, 3-bedroom with flexi space, with private lifts even. So these are things that next week when we have our UAT, we will share more in depth about the different floor plans, right? Because for this development, there's too many floor plans for me to go through one by one during this session. Okay, so remember to tune in next week for UAT as well. But in the meantime, let me continue. We do have about 100 units of 4-bedder and about 14 units of 5-bedroom, including the penthouses. All right. So for those of you who don't know, I'm also the DD for 𝗺𝗏, which have already been sold out. But back then when we did 𝗺𝗏, our largest unit was about 1,800 plus square feet, 5-bedder, right? And I did get a lot of inquiries previously on buyers who are looking at this area in particular, and they want big units that's above 2,000 square feet. And to be honest, there is not a lot of supply at 2,000 over square feet, right? But the reserve residences is an opportunity for them now, right? Because we have 4-bedders at 2,000 square feet, we have 4-bedders at 2,250 square feet, and even penthouses up to 2,800 square feet, right? So if your clients are looking for big units in Bukit Timah, this is a development that you want to bring them to, okay? So next, I'll share a little bit more on the design consultants. We have the principal architect from 𝗺𝗫. We have landscape architect, as mentioned earlier, from ICN Design International. And we have the interior design from 𝗬𝗵𝗲, which I'll show you more details later on. Right, so basically the architect went into a design concept of the development. As you can see from this picture, this is the quarry of the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. So they took inspiration from this, and that helped to develop their design concept of this development. Okay, so this is the view of the development, and generally you can see that it's very green by nature. Usually you have greenery surrounding the development, right? But for this development, you have greeneries all over the development, all right? So a lot of design is actually inspired by the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. And as I mentioned, even the name Reserve Residences also came from the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve inspiration. All right, so looking at this Google Earth image, basically to show you the location and how the site is actually surrounded by many nature reserves like Bukit Batok Nature Reserve on the west side. And on the north, we also have the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve, which everybody is familiar. And actually down south, we also have another forest, which is the Clementi Forest, right? So we are really surrounded by greeneries here. And on this diagrammatic chart, it's easier to see how well surrounded we are by the greeneries around the area. All right, so this was actually how they formed the basis of design for this development itself. Okay, so the reserve residences actually sits in a very central area, and given the integration of the transport hub, it is going to be the heart of the beauty world, or even the Bukit Timah precinct, right? So you can see, in all directions, you are getting unblocked and very nice greenery views, which I will share images of it later on. Okay, so you can see from this diagrammatic chart the integration of the MRT and also the bus interchange, making it the integrated transport hub, and also the surrounding development nearby. In this image, basically is to show you the linkages that are very well thought of and thought through to provide well connectivity to the surrounding amenities. Right, so on the right of this picture, it's a bridge to the development, right? Should be coming from the community center. All right, so the community center, for those of you who are unfamiliar, basically the community center will take over the actual site of the Bukit Timah Hawker Center right now. In fact, it's already in the process of moving. All right, so in future, when this community center is up, there will be a direct link bridge to the reserve residences itself. Okay, so we talk about connectivity of the development. This developer is designed, right? They designed this development to be open, porous, and well connected. So on the base of the development, we have the malls, the bus interchange, and one of the key ideas is to provide a very seamless pedestrian experience from the lower base to the upper levels to the residential and facility decks, so on and so forth. All right, so a lot of thought has been given to how people can navigate this undulating site and connect across the entire development, right? Because this is a very big plot of land and there's various facilities at different floor levels, which is why you may have seen there are several site plans available, which is why it may be a bit confusing, but we'll help you with that moving forward. But if you look at the diagram, the vertical arrow here shows the access points for residents to go directly down to the retail malls and even linkways to the MRT station. Okay, so to look at this from a bird's eye view from the top, we do have all these vertical access points at multiple sites of the development, right? So all in all, we have about 4 vertical access points, which creates convenience for all the residents to move around within the development itself and even to the base of the development, which houses the retail and even the public transport. Okay, so we look at the layers of the development itself. All right, 𝗚𝗏 actually aims to inject more amenities within a dense environment and still at the same time allowing people to feel open and a spacious lifestyle. So if you look at the base of this development, as I mentioned, we have the retail offerings, and sitting above it, we actually have a series of gardens that are terracing, layered upon each other to multiply the spaces that people have to enjoy a wide spectrum of facilities, right? So because it's an undulating plot of land and we have multiple layers here, the developers have actually stacked the facilities to create more open space and more landscaping space, on the physical decks itself. Okay, so what's amazing here is how well integrated these amenities are into the landscaping and how they are infused with a sense of nature, right? So it's a bit hard to understand now without the pictures, but I'll show you a little bit more shortly, okay? And above the gardens, we actually, of course, have the residences, which are all strategically planned for the perfect views of the surrounding, which I will show you in a while as well. Okay, so it's a very, very carefully thought over development to make sure that all units get the best views and the residents get the best of the facilities, space, nature, and everything combined. All right. So this is a cross-section to help you understand the different layers of development. As you can see, we have the MRT linkway to basement 1, and then level 1 to level 3 is where we house the retail malls, followed by level 4, 5, and 6, which is where the amenity deck is, and level 6 is where we have, the residences and so on moving forward. Right, so this is a cross-section to help you understand the roughly on the different tier. Okay, and next we talk about views, right? Every development, everybody is so excited to pick up the best facing units that has the best view possible, right? When your buyers come down to view, they always want to know which stack or which unit provides them the best view possible, right? So what's interesting about reserve residences is that all the units here are carefully thought of to provide nice views of the surrounding. And I can show you right coming up, right? So looking at the red color angles, basically these are the views that the architect have looked into and took into consideration when they are orientating the buildings for reserve residences. And as I mentioned earlier, basically on the west side, you have your Bukit Batok Nature. On the north, you have your Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. And following the south, we have the Clementi Forest, right? So all these are well taken into consideration when they plan how they orientate the building, okay? So at the north side, we have the Bukit Timah literally at your doorstep. And if you're on the higher floors, you can probably even see all the way to Johor in the background as well. Right, so on the high floor, this is on the 31st floor, this is roughly what you will be seeing, right? A full unblocked greenery view. Okay, and on the western side, you would have your Bukit Batok Nature Park. Again, this is also on the 31st floor. basically you get more cityscape, but also a lot of greenery views as well. And next, on the south side, you also get some cityscape, followed by some forest view, and Clementi Forest will be on your right in this picture. Okay, so we have this PIE facing, which will be a lot of concerns for your buyers, right? So I will address this later on as well, so stay tuned. Okay, so let's take a look at the orientation of the view, all right? So early on, I mentioned we have the horizon units, right? Which developers call it the knuckle unit, right? So these knuckle units are the ones in white. As you can see in the middle, it's black color, and then at the corners of it, they are all in white colors. And this is what they call the knuckle units, because the intention for this design is to stick them out of the main body of the development to provide, an almost 270-degree panoramic view. Okay, so you may not be able to understand it from this picture, but if you look at the site plan, this is a site plan for level 6 to level 16. But basically, if you look at the blue colored units here, the dark blue and the light blue ones, basically they are so-called, like knuckles where they are sticking out of the building itself. And this is intentional to get you the best orientation and the best view of the surrounding. As based on what I showed you earlier, all the north, west, and south side, you get very, very nice greenery views. So all these units are intentionally so-called stuck out of the development to provide you a panoramic view. Okay, so this is just a glimpse into one of the living spaces. The architect has, emphasized on the flow of the design. They want to enhance tropical living. The sliding doors from the balcony and all that provides maximum ventilation and wind flow to your unit. Right? Basically, they want to integrate nature and co-living at the same time. All right, so this is one of our 2-bedroom layouts, which you will see at the show flat next week. It's one of the smaller layouts, but I wouldn't call it small because over here in this living room, you have a width of about 3 meters. And as you can see, it flows through to the balcony and all the way to an unblocked view. All right, so once again, the horizon units are rotated and purposely pushed out of the buildings to provide the best views possible. Right. So an example of a unit at the horizon side. These are just small illustration of the units with beautiful views. As you can see from your balcony, you are already overlooking the greenery. All right. This is not even on the high floor yet. Right. So another image of the horizon series. This is a view from your master room with the unprecedented views. And also these views, in my opinion, are pretty much safeguarded because I'm pretty sure government is not going to build anything on top of Bukit Timah hill, right? That's our one and only hill in Singapore, So that makes it more or less a permanent view for you. You don't have to worry about, paying so much for a premium view now, only to have it blocked in years to come, all right? So you can assure your buyers on that. So for the bigger units in the Horizon series, we do have this flexi space at the back of your unit, right? So usually when you have dual and usually when you have private lifts, you would have a secondary entry from a common lift, which usually comes in from the back of your unit, right? Usually in the kitchen area. So this is going to be the same, but they have this extra space, which is something like a garage where you can use it as an extra storage. You can use it as a work area. You can use it for your plants and all that because they have natural ventilation. You can use it for gym. It can be an extra helper's room, or you may even want to rent it out, right? Because it has an attached bath, right? I'm not supposed to say that, but just for sharing, okay? So yeah, this space is very good for buyers who want their own space, own personal space for their hobby and things like that on top of the standard bedroom provision, all right? Because not everybody gets to have one bedroom to do their own things, right? So now you have an extra space for that. Okay, and next we take a look at the quick site unit, all right? So it is a bit more special and exclusive. It's a small cluster of 54 units ranging from 3 to 4 bedrooms overlooking the pools, right? So if you look at this site plan, I just want to bring your attention to the lower part. These brown colored units here, these units are the quick site, which comprises of units from level 6 all the way to level 11, and level 12 being the roof terrace. Okay, so this will show you a better image of the creek side. Basically, when you look at the reserve in general, you would have the cliff-looking building, which is the service apartments, and then you have the lower-rise buildings, which is this, the creek side, and then followed by the reserve residences, which is the main building, right? So this is how you will want to differentiate. But basically, these are the views that you get from your creekside unit. You enjoy views of the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve, but yet you are also closer to ground, and you also get to enjoy the landscapes within the development itself. Okay. So these are just some more images showing you the creekside developments and how it's well integrated with the development's landscaping. You can see a lot of rock forms infused with water bodies and little water fountains, waterfalls, and cabanas for people to relax and enjoy. Right. So on the left, you can see all these rock forms with some mini waterfalls. We've seen the fly-through video. It's really, really very nice. Basically, this meandering step here leads you from level 5 to level 6, the creekside unit. Right. So it's a very nice space where it's open to all the residences. Basically, you may not even need to go to Bukit Timah for your walks. You can just walk within the development, and you get a lot of nature within the development itself. Okay, so this is just some of the illustrations of units inside of the creek. This is a PES unit, as you can see, but it shows you how well connected you are to the greeneries within the development, all right? Then, of course, you're also well connected to nature. All the living rooms have full height sliding doors to allow people to feel that the affinity with the natural exterior, right? Again, this is the PES unit. Okay, and next we talk about the spacing of units, right? When we talk about a big development or dense development, people are always concerned about the block-to-block distance and all that, right? So as you can see from this site plan here, you may not be able to see it clearly, but no worries, I'll share with you. The units are all pretty much spaced out as much as possible. As mentioned earlier, the developer's concept is to provide, the developer's concept is to provide a spacious environment, yet having a lot of amenities, right? So when we talk about our closest point, block to block, it is still 30 meters wide. So it's very, very comfortable, and none of the units here are going to be very close to one another. Okay, and of course, to address one of the biggest concerns of this project would be the PIE at the bottom of the image. Basically, it's on the east side, but on this image here, it's at the bottom where PIE sits on, right? So this is something that we do not have to hide. It is there, and everybody can see, right? So you don't have to tell your buyers that, oh, don't worry, there's no noise from PIE and whatnot, right? There is noises from PIE, right? And why am I not shy to hide about this, right? It's because that the developers and architects have strategically positioned the maintenance facilities and all that to shield the road noises, to provide a peaceful and tranquil environment within the developments itself, right? So you probably won't be able to see it from the site plan here, but all the creekside units, right, are the ones that's directly in front of PIE. But on the model itself, when you go down to see on Monday, you will notice that the entire TR or reserve residences is elevated, right? So as mentioned, level 1 to level 3, we have our retail malls, followed by level 4, 5, and 6 being the amenities deck and some units, right? But most units start from level 6 onwards. So PIE will probably be around level 3. So even at level 6, you're already towering above the PIE. And the main thing is that you have all the maintenance facilities and tennis court and whatnot that is nearer to the PIE side, which helps you to shield off some noise, not all for sure, some noise. But the developers have strategically placed all the units along the creek side to face inwards. So let me be clear, there is no units that is facing PIE, zero, none. No units facing PIE, okay? That's a good news for us because all the units along creek side faces inwards. Then of course you would say at the bottom part of the creek side, you do have the facing of PIE, right? So is that going to be full solid wall with no openings? And what about ventilation and all that? So when you come down to see the model, you will notice that at the back of these buildings, you do have window openings, but those are windows from your kitchen and your toilets. Right? So none of the bedrooms and living room is actually facing TIE. All the bedrooms and living room are actually facing inwards towards the garden, towards the swimming pool, and your beautiful indoor forest. Okay, so I think you'll be able to have a better feel on the actual day when you go down to see the model. Okay, it's really hard for me to explain through a site plan like this, but yeah, you probably get a feel on the day itself. So next, we talk a little bit about landscaping. I think in general, the landscape concept is to have an atmosphere of a forest within the development itself, all right? But yet you don't want to build a forest and nothing else, right? So they also focus on the environmental decks, which provides like a resort living kind of landscape, which provides a lot of facilities, luscious planting at every turn that you see, you know, and a lot of facilities and wellness for all the residences to enjoy. Okay. So of course, we do have verdant views from level 12, level 17, level 32, and level 33. These are some of the sky decks available, which you would also better be able to visualize from the show models itself. But basically, the upper floor provides residents with the expansion of views across the estate, borrowing the adjacent greenery as a natural backdrop. All right. So this is just a little peek on the northern side of the development. And although it's a big development, we do have a cozy entrance, as you can see. That's where the G wagon is, right? Our entrance is actually below the upper decks. And because of the sloping land, when you actually enter the development, you are actually entering from level 3 already, right? So that square little building that you see there, it's actually our common space. It's the library and function room area, which sits on top of the entrance to the car park. And all of it is actually surrounded by greenery. Okay, so again, TRR, or rather the reserve residences, is very special. It is not just a single floor plate or a single floor land. Basically, there are several facility decks we have on level 4, 5, 6, and also the roof terraces. All right. So when you see the floor plans and site plans, you may be a bit confused. You know, how come there's so many site plans? You know, initially when I received it from the developer, I was also scratching my head like, how come there's so many site plans? Then I realized, oh, okay, this is for level 4, this is for level 5, so on and so forth. All right. So what you are seeing here is the site plan for level 4. All right. And on number 1, that's where we have a 600-meter jogging track, which cuts off somewhere here because the jogging track is sloping up to level 5 along the other side of level 5 and then back down to level 4 again. Right, so you can keep fit, go for your runs and walks within the development, and it's also safe for children and all that. Right, so you have a 600-meter jogging trail within the development itself. And of course, you also have your pavilions, your dining pavilions, your hammock gardens, so on and so forth. Right, it's all stated here. Moving forward, you will be able to see them. But I just want to share this huge gray space here. Basically, this is the car park deck. All right, so on level 4, you would have some units. You would have some, these are actually the level 4 units here. These are actually the treetop collections, which is the premium units because they get to enjoy private, you know, so-called balcony, not balcony, greenery spaces outside their unit. And they also have direct access to the car park spaces as well. Okay. So then, of course, on level 5, you would see that we also have a car park deck as well, but it's a lot smaller. This sits just below the level 6 creekside deck. But on this level, level 5, we do have the playground, an outdoor fitness area. You do have your pet lawn as well, and many other pavilions and whatnot. All right, and more importantly, we do have a swimming pool that is more than 100 meters long. All right, the main one is here, which is a 50-meter net pool, but it's all seamlessly along a single line, which makes it seem like a very, very long swimming pool of more than 100 meters. Okay. So I think you've seen this image earlier, but this is to show you the change in level from level 5 to level 6, right? So where the swimming pool is situated on, that is actually level 5. And if you remember, on the right, you have your Creekside unit, which starts on level 6. Okay, so all your Creekside units are pretty exclusive, and they all get a very, very nice view of the interior landscape and also the pool area. Sorry. And so if you look at this image over here, basically the space within the buildings, it's engineered on purpose to look like a valley. That's why the name is called Creekside. All right. And what's actually going on here that was shared by the developers is that the urban area here actually heats up during the day, right? So it becomes hotter than the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve area. And as the hot air rises off the built-up area, it draws the cool air from the forest. All right, and that's what they call bringing in the green air of the forest, right? And in general, I think Bukit Timah area is usually 1 degree or so, slightly cooler than the rest of Singapore, probably because of the nature surrounding, right? So this is a view of the Creekside as well. And as mentioned, this shows you all the units facing inwards and away from the PIE side, all right? So you also have a lot of all these water play equipments that are elegant, that's fun for your kids and all that. Okay, and on your left we have a cabana that is specially designed to look like the seeds of a shoria tree, right, which can be found in the Bukit Timah forest, right? I have no idea what a shoria tree looks like, but basically it's designed after a shoria tree seed. Okay. And you also, on the right, you also have all these water cascading off rockworks, which creates a natural habitat, a natural environment, all right? During the fly-through video, you would see the water cascading downwards from all these rock forms, which helps to make the entire place a lot more beautiful, all right? It's hard for me to put in words now. Moving forward, I can't wait for you to see the fly-through video. In fact, I think yesterday we have already sent out the video. If you have not seen it, please have a look at it and please send it to your clients because it helps you deliver the true essence of the reserve residences. Okay. And next we have our level 6 facility deck. We have our cabana again. We have our Zen deck, our garden deck, kids playground, recreation court, tennis court, so on and so forth. All right. Basically just more facilities. This is just another aerial view of the central area. The pool again, once again, is on level 5, and also the roof gardens on the main blocks on the left and right. These are the ones that are open to the sky, right, and open to all residences. So in case you're wondering by now, the service apartments will not, okay, I say again, the service apartments will not share the facilities with the residences itself, right? So all the residences here, all your buyers will get to enjoy the full facilities to themselves, right? So on level 17, which is the roof garden that you see over here, on the left of this block, this is where it's open to the sky, but on the right it's sheltered because you then have level 18 all the way to level 32 and 33, okay? But basically on level 17, that's where you have more dining pavilions. You have the Tembusu living room, you have your gym, you have more Zen decks, more community garden space, so on and so forth. All right, so this is one of the views from the level 17, where you have a working pot, a space for you to feel close to nature, have your peace, and get your work done. All right. And this is a view from the Tembusu living room on the 17th floor. Basically, it's a multi-function living room that offers a cozy space for family and friends to gather on or to host social gatherings, birthday parties, so on and so forth, while you enjoy views across the extensive landscape. Also, we have a view from the Vista Gym. You have breathtaking views of the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve while you do your workout in the gym. And also residents get to feel like they are exercising in an outdoor natural environment without having to step out of their home. Okay, so coming to the last part of my sharing, basically you have on level 32 a facility deck here, but this houses 4 of the penthouse units that I mentioned earlier on. These are all 5-bedders that ranges from about 2,004 to 2,800 square feet. All right, so these 4 units here are very premium because on level 32 you get the perfect view. On level 33 you have more facility deck as well. You have garden spaces and all that, right? So we do not have a lot of images to show you how magnificent the view is, but this is the closest that we can get. All right, on the top floor you get your own, you get a shared deck, sky deck. But basically at level 33, you are on the highest point of Bukit Timah. Again, you are on the highest point of Bukit Timah, and you pretty much get a full panoramic view of the entire surrounding of this development. All right. So I hope I have brought to you some essence and some insights to the development. Again, some of you may be confused with the level 4, level 5, level 6, level 17, level 32, all the different facility decks and the site plans and whatnot, right? I haven't even gone into the floor plans, but once again, we will share that more in detail next week by one of our DDs, right? But before we end today's session, I just want to sum up some of the reasons why you should be bringing your buyers to Jalan Anak Bukit, or rather the reserve residences, right? Because number one, it's situated in the heart of Bukit Timah, right? Where else do you want to stay, right? It has excellent connectivity. It's an integrated transport hub, you know, which, as I shared earlier, there's only 5 other integrated transport hubs now with integrated developments, and they are all in the outskirts, right? Only this is in the central area, all right? It houses residents, shops, and F&B establishments as well. It's designed by 𝗚𝗧𝗏, a multinational award-winning architectural design firm. And you have exceptional views of Bukit Timah Nature Reserve for selected units, and over 70 facilities spanning across 7 different levels, as I briefly shared earlier. I hope some of you get a good glimpse of it. And also a good unit mix, ranging from 1-bedder all the way to 5 bedrooms with penthouses. As I mentioned, the supply of units that is above 2,000 square feet is very, very, very limited. So if you have clients that is looking at big units, look nowhere else but the reserve residences. All right. It is also a minute's walk to 3 nature parks, including your Rifle Range Nature Park, Bukit Timah Nature Reserve, and the Bukit Batok Nature Park. All right. And what parents will be excited about is that it's within 1 kilometer from 𝗵𝗿𝗀 Presbyterian Primary School and Methodist Girls' School as well, and close to proximity to renowned education institutions, including Hwa Chong, ACSI, so on and so forth. All right, and we do have a lot of investment units, 1-bedder, 2-bedders. You know, some of your buyers may be looking to buy this purely for school. You know, these are the units that they may want to be looking at. And if you remember, there are units without balcony, which can help to lower the quantum if affordability is an issue. All right. Also, it's a 2 minutes walk to our Bukit Timah Market and Food Center, and also close proximity to many other eateries along the Cheong Chin Nam area. All right, we also 1 MRT stop to King Albert Park MRT station, which will be a future interchange with the Cross Island Line. All right, and we are also very close proximity to the CBD and major expressways like PIE, BKE, and KJE.